Thank you and welcome everyone to It's the Car Business, a YouTube podcast show that inspires car dealers and their management staff to make positive changes in their dealership. You can watch us on YouTube and listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, and iHeartRadio. Today's guest is Chad Burmeister. He's a four-time sales author of books including SalesHack, and most recently, AI for Sales, how artificial intelligence is changing sales. And he's here to talk about creative tools and technologies that he's seeing deployed in business-to-business sales that can be easily deployed to the car business to sell more cars. Chad, welcome to the show.
David, great to be here today. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I've got my kind of warmish sweater on today. It's starting to drop in the temperature here.
Yeah, we got a nice day, going to be 75, and then it's going to go sideways after that. Let me ask you, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm actually quite busy these days. I'm running a AI for Sales company, or I like to think of it as pipeline as a service. And so literally 200 companies come to us and we help them with putting in place a prospecting strategy. And a lot of our customers have been in the business to business world. But when we started working with a handful of business to consumer companies, and then we got to meet, it clicked for me. And I said, you know what? A lot of the strategies and tactics that we use at ScaleX for business to business customers probably would be a good idea to use in the dealership business. So it's great to be here and share some collaborative ideas on what people can use to drive more business.
Let me ask you this, Chad. What, say, 2 to 3 things would you say from your experience in the business to business segment that you could see moving into, using the car business that would help to, sell more cars or get more people in, or overall help sales?
I think a lot of dealerships may have a Calendly type function that's built into their platform of choice, but a lot don't. So I think the first place to start would be, if you don't have Calendly, it's free. And we get so many meetings on customers' calendars just by exposing their calendar. And so, right now, my wife's in the market for a car, and we're getting emails from, we went to about 3 or 4 different dealerships. She's looking at a Range Rover. And so she's getting the emails, and most of the time there is no easy way for her or me to click a button and say, oh, I'm going to come by at 3:00, right? It's a lot of emails with no call to action. And so if you just had that little button that says click here, schedule a time. So again, if you're already using that, probably a moot point, but if you're not, something definitely to look into.
You have a sample of that you could put up real quick, or?
Yeah, I could. Let me just pull that open here. And
because not everybody may know what Calendly is and how well it works.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? If you can allow my screen share on the right side participants, just go in there and click. Zooms these days is locking people down a little more than traditionally.
I know they've changed a few things of where they are. That's why I'm trying to figure out.
Beautiful.
Wrong one. Sorry.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
No, I see the Calendly page.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
good.
Go
all right.
So imagine if you gave, you can program this to say whatever you want. Walk the lot. Check out the new Land Rover, or what, you could build as many of these different scheduling links as you want. So for me, I do a podcast recording. So I send people that link. And then I also have different meeting times. So go ahead and click on the AI for Sales podcast recording. Think about this. If you have this in your email signature and people say, I want to come schedule a time, you can ask qualification questions right in the Calendly link. So see where it says the 4 questions I'll be asking. Tell us your name. You should ask those questions like, what make, model, and year are you looking for? What are the 3 most important things that you're looking for in a car? Is it How important is financing? Do you have a trade-in? Whatever, you could ask 2 or 3 questions here. And that way, when they go to schedule the time, so go ahead and click on one of those dates and times, and then just pick one of the times. Let's just say, yep, there you go, 11:30, confirm. See, now it's going to ask name, email, phone, and then whatever questions you program into Calendly, it'll ask. So that when it comes time for that meeting, they come to meet with you, you've got it on your phone and you're looking right at it and you go, oh, I already know about you, right? It gives you a leg up on anybody else because you've already understood 3 or 4 of the questions that can be asked via the form.
Yeah. The other thing too is that I know, because we use it, is that it will send them, say, a text. You can say an hour before to remind them, here's your appointment. Because, when you schedule appointments, I know in a dealership or almost anywhere, a lot of times, not everybody shows up. And so this, it gives the reminder of when hey, you got this coming up, and oh yeah, that's right, I almost forgot, and it beeps you. So that's definitely a excellent point. You switch sides, but that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So let's see that. You asked me 2 things. So Calendly's one, and hopefully, if you're not using that kind of capability to pre-ask those qualification questions,
right?
Look into it. Right? I called it, when I ran a team of 100 people at my last organization called Ring Central, I call it free leads. Right? You should be putting that all over the place, your Calendly link. If someone wants to book it, what you do is you integrate it to your Outlook or Gmail calendar. So assuming you've got time blocks, maybe you can't do it from 2 to 5, Monday through Friday, because you've got something else going on. But any other time, you allow people to book your time. So all that's integrated into the calendar to allow for that type of scheduling. The next thing that I'm seeing out there that's interesting is the use of video and adding personalization, right? Think about, we just went to the Land Rover lot the other day and we met the person at the front. Now, this was a mix up. We waited for 20 minutes and we went to the front. We said, hey, can someone come out and show us? Because we don't see the price tags on the window. 20 minutes later, nobody came out. We left. And I couldn't believe that.
That's bad.
It was just not a well-run lot here in Colorado. I thought, wow, is this pandemic related or what's going on? Because something's changed. And let's assume that I met the person that came out and shook their hand and he showed us around. He or she showed us the lot. A good best practice is to use a video tool that are free, by the way, Vidyard or Loom, Loom.
Okay.
You download this little app, and now right after they leave, you could get on your phone and you go, hey, Chad, it was so good meeting you and your wife, Tracy. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Maybe show the inside of the car that they liked really, really well, right? Hey, I really thought this was a perfect fit for you guys. And I'm looking I know you're going down the street and hopefully by end of today, let's schedule a time and have you come back. Really good to meet you. And just add that personal fingerprint on the interaction, because guess what? Out of all those other non-personal emails that I got, 6 or 8 of them, they don't have a Calendly link. They don't have a video. Those are 2 things you could do to set yourself.
In one of our previous broadcasts, I talked about how there's only so many CRM companies for dealers, and they come with these pre-built canned emails that they send you. And you may notice when you start getting emails from other dealers, a lot of them are the same. They're identical, which shows how unpersonal. It's like, wait a minute, it really hurts your reputation, I think, and how you look. You and I were talking when we were talking about doing this. You told me about an experience you had that you had rented a Yukon or some GMC that when you went to get out, it told you the briefcase was still in the back.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you go to sleep for 6 months and wake up like a bear in the woods and go rent a car at the car lot in Utah. In fact, I flew from Colorado to Utah. and I was parking at a castle. It was this executive retreat, and I go to get out, and when you don't travel for 6 months, you forget what it is you're doing.
Please go to part 2 for the continuation of AI dealer hacks that drive more car sales on It's the Car Business.